Good Monday morning, everyone.
Welcome to WMBD this morning. Have you seen those one-pan meals? The videos shared all over Facebook.
I really do love those videos.
Yeah.
Well, local dietitians are getting in on the trend with their own healthy spin. That's ahead. But first, topping your news this half hour, today marks the 31st anniversary of the federal holiday honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Preparing for the state of the state, we are standing by to hear Governor Rauner's address. We will take you there live on WMBD News at noon. And we are listening to Governor Bruce Rauner's third State of the State address happening right now live in Springfield. He also is talking about more goals, making Illinois ethical and efficient, investing in education, and making our state more competitive for the future job market. Yeah, Lindsay, a tremendous blow to the Central Illinois community. I'm sure hundreds of Caterpillar employees that are about to leave the headquarters this morning for lunch are talking about this news too. Caterpillar saying conditions have really not been so good this year, but not only this year, for the last 5 years, since 1967, Lindsay, this location right behind this bus that is passing us has been the headquarters of Caterpillar worldwide. But first, we begin with breaking news. Police arrest the ex-husband of a woman found dead in her office last fall. 56-year-old Kirk Zimmerman was taken into custody this morning.
And right now, we're also following the latest on two Peoria police investigations.
Now, the first, a deadly home invasion. The second, an overnight shooting. Now to the first one, a deadly home invasion. It happened in the 2400 block of West Antoinette just before 10:30 last night. Getting our first look at the scene right now. A man called police saying he heard noises in his home, found his front window broken, and the suspect trying to get in. Our top story at noon, a tense morning for employees and travelers at Peoria International Airport. It has since reopened, but earlier it was a different story. Now, authorities say the woman is claiming that the package is a training device for abortion clinics. The sheriff's office is leading this investigation. We will have updates throughout the day on air and online. 9 tornadoes reportedly touched down in LaSalle and Bureau counties, and 5 tornado reports in Livingston County are responsible for severely damaging buildings and injuring 4 people in Pontiac. Severe weather causing damage to this Shell gas station and other buildings around the area. 7 people are recovering after the EF2 tornado blew through Pontiac. That's according to OSF Medical Center. The heaviest damage along Route 116 near I-55. We know of several businesses, homes, and a mobile home park were hit pretty hard. WMBD has had team coverage around the clock since Wednesday and continued to follow the aftermath of the storm. This morning, Alyssa Paldo is in Pontiac as we wait for Governor Bruce Rauner to visit the town and assess the damage there. 2 tornadoes touching down here in central Illinois, destroying neighborhoods and bringing down power lines. This map shows the location of both of them. Well, the first happened in Cameron at 7:30, now to Delavan. That hit shortly before midnight. Truly remarkable what some of those people were saying there. One woman described it as like a NASCAR track with the wind whirling around. Rachel, what's the latest on the situation last night? We're taking a look outside on the roadways this morning in the mobile storm tracker. WMBD's Alyssa Paldo following some reports of some flooding in the Farmington area. We're going to keep you updated on the latest weather forecast and possibly bring you to a live location coming up in just a bit. Well, let's check in now with meteorologist Lauren Rainson, who's been tracking these storms that are kind of leaving the area, but more is to come. Isn't that right, Lauren? We're here on Allen Road, and Lauren's been mentioning it all morning. Luckily, the freezing mist is kind of gone in this area, but I'll tell you what, that wind is still putting a bite to the air, and it's been affecting these crews that have been on Allen Road all night and into the morning. As you can see, they are stabilizing power poles that are leaning against power lines. Good morning, Lindsay. Yes, we're still on the back alley here with entrance from Westmoreland. Of course, we're behind some homes on Wiswall in the 2300 blocks too. And it's still a very active scene. Take a quick walk with me here. If you could see Peoria police cruisers, 2 of them still kind of fencing off this alley, blocking it so people don't come by. We've already tried to see a couple people try to get through. A couple neighbors are very curious as well. And now, since it's daylight, we're learning some new information about the actual crime scene. As you can see, the FAR police cruiser, the crime scene and the tape actually goes towards the left a little bit into a yard, kind of protruding into another yard. That's something that we did not see earlier this morning. Let's take a look at that scene from earlier this morning, where it was a very dark crime scene. Police had to bring in extra lights and their flashlights to look for evidence. Now, a detective at the scene tells me that 1 person was shot. That person was transported to the hospital. I just got off the phone with a Peoria desk sergeant, where they have no update for us this morning about the current condition of that victim. Now, we talked to another sergeant who said this morning that this was the worst scene out of the 3 shootings in Peoria overnight. Another neighbor we spoke with, had no idea that this even happened last night. I'm very curious why police are all over the street. We will be continuing to update you on all the latest developments. Empty retail space in downtown Peoria may see new tenants. 2 national businesses are showing interest in storefronts located on Monroe Street.
That will also allow you to download unlimited photos taken by photographers at the resort.
So you can plan it now through reservations. That's kind of cool.
Good idea.
I'm thinking about those photos, those digital photos. You get yourself on Splash Mountain all scared,
Yeah.
you know? You can Instagram it right away.
Love those pictures.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's going to feel like Splash Mountain outside this morning. Lauren.
I didn't mean
Seriously will.
to do that transition.
Very wet out there.
A risky situation. I want to relive it now. Take a look.
Clay Gordon joins us live at the Kroger on Lake Avenue in Peoria, where the 27th annual Stuff-A-Bus food drive is well underway, and it's for an organization in desperate need of donations this time of year. Clay, how's it going down there?
Well, it's going all right. A car almost backed into us just now, so we're kind of on the fly here.
All right, Lindsay, how could I forget that day? I thought that was going to be the last day of my life. New at noon, the World Series trophy is making stops in central Illinois. The Chicago Cubs trophy will be on tour at Illinois Wesleyan University and Illinois State University on January 18th. I'll take a look at this. A stunning sunrise this morning in Chicago. This is the view from WBBM's helicopter just before 7 o'clock. The clouds were illuminated in a fiery orange, and you can see the yellow from the sun grow as it begins to peek through some of those clouds.
If you're a long-term investor, if your balance allocated correctly, this should just be a minor blip moving forward.
Yeah, we were hearing from some experts earlier that said this might take about 2 years to come through. And with David Cameron's possible departure, everything's kind of up in the air right now, Scott.
It is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, Senator. Let's start off with the budget impasse in Springfield. Obviously, a lot of tension is building. And we are particularly concerned about school funding. Why is there urgency to get a budget bill passed for school funding?
Obviously, school is the most important thing people are talking about. There's really 2 urgent issues.
Two new additions today from the media on the team. How did they do today?
They did really, really well, actually. I was very surprised with we got this new recruit, a goaltender, and you could see he played hockey before. He did really well.
You guys want more food stories?
Yeah.
You got it. Pringles rolling out a new chip line that doesn't contain potatoes.
Huh.
What? The Hostess with the mostess. The stock of Hostess brands, which makes Twinkies, is really cooking. In fact, Hostess shares have surged nearly 25% since the day before the presidential election. Wildlife Prairie Park is celebrating 2 holidays in February with a couple events. Here to tell us more about it is Callie Smith and a snake. Who is this?
This is Roberto, and he's a Great Plains rat snake, so non-venomous. Everyone's okay.
For your sake, I'm glad he's not venomous right now. I'm okay. You're in the danger zone right now.
I was like walking across, I didn't know there was one road and then another ravine and then the highway and then another ravine. I got there and was like, I live here now. I can't possibly go back to the hotel. I'm never leaving.
You literally came out of the woodwork.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm happy we're running a story on this because this is a sneaking suspicion that something that I always thought happened, that dogs do understand certain tones. And I have a quick example. I have 2 pugs. My family has 2 pugs. And every time I end something up as a question, they always go, like that.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And I've seen that on a lot of viral videos.
That I wear this little thin belt, and I'm wearing one right now underneath my dress around my waist, and it works just fine.
All right, good. You don't have to show us. Just keep it.
I won't show you, don't
just
worry.
leave it as is, and we'll move on from there. Moving a West Bloomington neighborhood forward is the purpose behind a revitalization project. One recent graduate in the Twin Cities is doing her part to enhance the area, standing up so others can sit back. Meet this week's CI hero. It has been an ongoing issue. People are speaking out on Connect Transit's new fixed bus route plans. One concern, there was nowhere for riders to sit.
Somebody said that one of the residents had fallen and that there is a need for this seating.
Julie Lewis, a recent graduate of Illinois Wesleyan University, noticed people waiting for the bus are standing in grass and in some areas mud. Her solution, building benches. How do you figure out what kind of model bench to build?
A lot of Googling.
But Lewis did not have tools or a workshop, so she approached the tool library in Bloomington.
The first thing that we always think of is, how can we make this happen?
The staff of the tool library helped cut the wood. Lewis then finished the bench at home after checking out a power drill and clamps. This is the second bench. The first one is still in her living room.
We took a picture and posted it on Facebook, and we had a a huge amount of feedback from the community saying, how can I get involved? I want to help build. And it kind of snowballed from there.
With the help of sponsors and grant money, volunteers are building together during a bench blitz, spending a weekend day to provide a place to sit for all of West Bloomington. And from one bench in a living room to 20 constructed in one day, Julie Lewis is making her mark, her benchmark in the West Bloomington Revitalization Project. Did you ever think that you'd be making more than one bench?
No, I didn't. Somehow I started just to become this person who builds benches. I think I'm just going to be really grateful for this experience, and everyone has worked together, and be really proud of the community that we've formed to make something happen.
Now Connect Transit got on board too and is insuring the benches and is pouring concrete slabs for installation. The Tool Library will also be hosting a bed blitz in mid-September to provide a bed for McLean County children who do not have their own.
How awesome is this? I mean, a library where you can go and check out any tool you'd like, free of charge, and then using that to then help others. It's what a great story.
So in this case, this one is only for McLean County residents, but if you're a Peoria resident, there is one coming soon through Habitat for Humanity called the Don Baker Tool Library here for the Peoria area. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. You won't have to drive so far anymore.
I know. It sounds cool. And new this morning, the midst of cold and flu season, you never know if or when you will get sick. A new program is designed to help you get the care that you need at your own convenience. Many times you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home.
So happy and so
Tracy Andraki is a working mother of two children, a 2.5-year-old daughter and an almost 9-month-old son. Her husband is a teacher and basketball coach. They live in Bloomington.
This summer I was breastfeeding my son. He was 4 or 5 months at the time, and I started to feel really sick.
Their busy schedules didn't account for a complication during breastfeeding. And after consulting with her obstetrician after work, Tracy was stuck in a predicament.
The only option that I had was to go to the emergency room, and so that's where I was headed. And then she called me back and said, no, wait, I forgot. You don't have to go to the emergency room. I'm going to connect you to OSF On Call.
OSF On Call started back in June. Since then, hundreds of patients like Tracy Andraki have taken advantage of the telehealth service.
Because you have patients that have small children, you have patients that may be older or maybe not as mobile as other patients, and so this really provides them a way to see a professional in a quick time period and get their issue taken care of.
Dr. Lau practices family medicine at OSF St. James in Pontiac. He recommends the service to patients who are new to the area and haven't established a primary care doctor, patients that don't feel like leaving their beds, and people who are sick on the weekends outside of normal business hours.
Now, typically, how long do you think each visit is?
Yeah, so it takes about, average wait times in the 5 months we've been doing it is probably 10 or 15 minutes. The average time for our entire visit's about 20 minutes.
And I was literally sitting on my bed the whole time, so easy, never had to leave my house, and then she called in the prescription.
2/3 of all Americans have a smartphone. And so they're used to using a smartphone, and a lot of them already do use FaceTime or Skype with their, with their loved ones that may be in a different state. So it's really just as simple as that. So it's technology that they're used to using for social aspects, but we're utilizing it for healthcare.
We've ended up finding that probably about 70% of patients were able to help online without other care.
And the cost to sign up is $35 with a credit card. Andraki has used it twice.
$35 is about the same as what my copay is for a doctor visit, but it's significantly less than going to the emergency room in the middle of the night.
Now, OSF On Call can be accessed from any patient here in the state of Illinois. All you have to do is visit osfoncall.org to get started, and you are just a few clicks away from being seen by a doctor. Just a reminder, you can only pay by credit card, and government insurance is not accepted. For a list of what can be treated online or by the phone, visit our website, ciproud.com.